everybody, welcome to today's episode of Fast Rising Women in Ibadan. And today with me, I have Rachel of Amazing Cakes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Very fine, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you came to the show. Why did you decide to, I'm missing you with big questions, why did you decide to start baking? When did you start baking?
Well, I've been baking since I was quite young. I was born into a family of bakers. So my dad, my mom, and my siblings. Yeah. My dad loves to bake cakes and decorate cakes, and that's just pretty much how it started.
Everything, how it started, and you decided to make a business of it.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Your dad likes to bake. How do you find men that actually like to bake in Nigeria?
Yeah, I went to culinary school.
Okay.
So it just took a lot of interest in that.
Alright. You studied dentistry. So why did you, since you do that now, why did you go to school to study dentistry?
Well, I did start out to become a baker. Yes. I in fact found this passion for, let me say, entrepreneurship in general, not just baking, when I was in 400 level.
Okay.
Yes, at dental school. So it was something that I just found out of a passion to do something else other than just focusing on my books and build a business that I could, have as a second source of income. And I also just recently found out that I loved the whole concept of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, let me try it on something, and of course that was the easiest thing to try it on something that my family does.
Something you already know how to do. That's actually interesting. That means you and making systems you enjoy it. It's like it's something that comes natural to you.
Well, yes. Right. It's just like a second nature, like not just the cakes. We used to bake a lot of things, make snacks and pastries, so it was pretty easy to start doing it.
Do you practice now? Do you practice as a doctor?
Yes, I do. Right now I'm taking a break.
Okay.
I'm focusing on the business, but yes, I did up till a few months ago, like 2 months ago.
Oh, really? Yes. So how do you cope with practicing and baking? Because baking actually takes a lot of time.
Yes,
and it involves a lot of work. So how do you do that? How do you cope?
Yes. The good thing about the business is that I don't do everything alone. My family is really involved in it. Both of my parents are retired early and they're focusing. My mom sells baking items, baking accessories, materials and equipment. So, and that's what my dad also does. So he joins me in the business. We do these things together. We have a store now and we work together basically.
Okay, fine. Since this is something you were raised in, this is something you grew up doing, do you think you found, was it easy finding your own voice? Like if you find, like, I would say your own voice because your own person in it, because everybody, your dad, your mom, your siblings, so you being you when it comes to baking, was that hard?
No, it wasn't, because I always focused on being an entrepreneur. Focus on marketing, on getting customers, on customer relationship.
Okay.
A business is not just about the technical work.
Part, yeah.
That's one thing. But the whole part of the business that encompasses relating with people, marketing, both social media marketing and physical marketing. There's a lot of work to do.
So you actually find, that's good. So you are great at the marketing part, and that's mostly the administrative part of it. Or
yes, administrative. Keep up customers.
How do you find out dealing with these customers and these people? How do you find that?
Oh, well, I would say that naturally it's not easy to get a customer. So the main focus of every business is to retain your customers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work in getting customers and retaining them. You have to come up with new ideas. You have to be creative. Creativity is the soul of business.
And how do you stay creative?
Well, research. I read a lot.
Okay.
In fact, I used to tell people that my hobby is business, because when you find me alone, I'm just rather checking something on YouTube, checking out some new ebook somewhere. I like to look for free materials because, of course, I buy some, but you cannot always buy all these materials in dollars when there's so many resources on the internet. Yes. So I love to research.
Baking, retaining your customers and getting new customers. What has been your worst experience? Because that's been about entrepreneurship. There are good and bad days, there are highs and there are lows. What has been your worst experience?
Well, with baking, there's this particular thing with customers. Custom is a custom business. We do a custom cake business, and people have issues with choosing a design, and then you're trying to bring that design to life. Some people want that exact design down to the small details, and so you have to be very conscious about making sure that whoever is baking or decorating is following that exact idea. So I think most of the problems I've had in business, and I'm still having, every now and then something bad happens. But I think my worst experience so far was when I had this customer that was quite difficult to please. I was really grateful when she stopped patronizing me, because
oh my god,
she was bad. She would give you something to do, collect her order with, if it was okay, she would collect her cake with a stern face that doesn't even give you a clue of whether you've done good and you've tried your best to please, and cakes are difficult, they take time.
Yes, they do.
You have to start baking, decorating. It's not something you just do in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So now finishing that beautiful cake and then giving it to someone like, oh, I'm done with your work, and she just like, just bring it. And then the worst thing that happened was one day she ordered for 2 cakes, and then the first one was nice, but then she kept complaining about the size of one of the lines. The line was not big enough, it was not small enough, and then unfortunately for me, the other cake in the car had some of the icing melt. So we had to take that other cake home, we decorate. We didn't have a store at that time. I think not having a store then was one of the reasons why we had some bad experiences, because the distance from the house was quite far. Bad roads of Nigeria contribute to most of the problems we have. Yes. So coming back, the design she chose was quite intricate. So coming back, the icing, some of it fell again. We even carried our equipment along, and then we had to now patch it up in the car and then deliver. But I mean, we finished very late. The delivery was late because of traffic, and then maybe we delivered the second one like 10 p.m. It was not a good experience, and then our behavior, I was just so relieved when she tried to book for another cake and she was now complaining about the price again. I didn't even just respond, because it was like, I would be relieved if you just go to somebody else.
Wow.
And I've not heard from her since. Thank God.
Okay, fine. That's bad. I think that's bad. If you as an entrepreneur says you were relieved that she stopped patronizing you, that's bad. I'm sorry about that another experience. Okay, fine. You have bad days, you have good days. So do you have highlights of being a baker? What are the highlights of being a baker?
The main highlights in business is when you can see progress, obvious progress. When we first got a store, we took out a loan to pay some of the people that did the work in the store. My dad did a lot with his hands, and within a year, we had seen a lot of changes. We could afford to buy some equipment, and right now we've spent just a little bit above 2 years there, and things have been going. It's going to 3 years now. Yes, and things have been going better. Some of the highlights include when we buy something new in the store, or we redecorate successfully, and it's not a difficult thing for us. And then recently too, I've been seeing a lot of good comments from customers. They tell us how good our kids are, how wonderful they are. We have issues every now and then, but I've noticed that those problems have really, really reduced compared to before. Yes. So if you get like 10 good reviews, maybe one maybe negative review, and we always try to make it up to everybody. Yes, because that's very important. You don't want to lose anybody. As a customer.
I'm a cake lover. I'm a giant cake lover.
Nice.
I struggle to stick to my weight because I'm a cake lover. But I'm one thing as a cake lover. What I would say is for me, when you say your client was talking about the icing and whatever, I don't care about that. I care about the cake. I care about how it is. I care about the flavors and all that. How do you? Because that's one thing about being an awesome baker. You have to like have this good cake, like when you put it in your mouth. Oh my god! And the cake lover. So how do you keep? How do you stick to that? How do you have like years of uncompromising standard of good cake? How do you do all of that? Do you have bad batches?
Sometimes yes,
Okay.
but very importantly is to listen to your customer.
Mhm.
Someone like you is focused on the taste.
Yeah.
There's some people that are focused on the design, and as much as the taste is very important, you must know what your customer really wants. Some people want extra touch, some people want that extra effort and all of that. But generally, the way we make sure that all our cakes are good is that we have a recipe that we update.
Yeah.
You understand? So we write out our recipes. Our workers know that whenever they want to work, they must always write out what they are doing. It's a non-negotiable thing. Anybody that works with us knows that if you're going to bake, you must write out from our standard recipe book. You must write out everything you're going to use. Multiply whatever you multiply before you start your work. So that way we tend to get close to the same results every time we bake. And then it's very important to do research and see what your customers are complaining about. There was a time when moist chocolate cake was not like the in thing, like nowadays. Yes. So back then, of course, we used to do the traditional chocolate cake. It was more like brown cake with some chocolate powder and more browning and all of that, and it was dry and dry. Yes. So I just started noticing people were saying, this cake is not moist. When you hear a complaint from one person, from two people, you have to really know that there's something, and then, I just went out, bought chocolate cake from somebody that people were saying, this person's cake is nice. And I tasted it, I was like, okay, this is obviously different. So my next step was to go and look for a recipe that works for you. Yes, a good recipe. There's so many times we have to change recipes. We do a lot of research. Yes, there's one of my brothers that is really good at research. He's just the boss. He will go, I'll give him a recipe, please, Simon, test this recipe for me. He will go all lengths to test it in all the different forms, and when he gets a good outcome, then we are happy and we can upgrade.
Yeah, that's good. You said it's important to listen to what your client wants. That's good that you actually do that and you actually put that effort into making your next cake. How about all of this? How do you feel at the end of the day? How do you feel when your client is satisfied?
Oh, happiness. Yeah, sometimes I give myself a treat. It's good to celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, time will fly and pass you by.
Yeah.
There's always something you're looking up to in business. There's always that next step. There's always that person ahead of you that is doing far better than you. But if you don't celebrate the small wins that you have, you will just find that you get to where that person is, and then time has passed, and you don't still feel fulfilled. Yes. So I sometimes try to give my workers extra tips. Like I'll take this extra kaki as bonus for working hard this month. It was busy. So we try to celebrate ourselves.
Alright, you recently got married. I said already.
Yes, I did.
Cute. So make you feel all lovey-dovey. But how did you meet your husband?
We met in school.
Okay.
He's a
doctor? God, we just doctors and doctors come.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time in school,
together,
so it's inevitable. Yes, so he was one year my senior, and we were having a lot of classes. We had to have classes together at some point with our seniors. So those periods of like making contact with them, because obviously they knew more than us, but we were going to take the same tests as exams. So we were really like aligning with them to help us. I don't like helping.
Okay. Became something more.
Yeah.
Alright, how long did you guys date for?
3 years and some months.
3 years and some months. How's been married life?
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, actually.
And you're smiling all the time.
Having a husband is not the thing. It's about having a a person that supports you.
Yeah.
He like has made my business even easier for me. He supports my moves. I can just go to him and be talking about what I want to do. He tries to listen, even though he doesn't understand everything. But he tries to listen. He gives me ideas, and if I say, oh, there's one delivery that has failed and is home for the weekend, he says, don't worry, let me go and help you. Let's go. Let's go and drop it. So nice.
That's so nice. Yeah, that's good. During COVID, a lot of people were at home. How did your business survive COVID? How did you survive the pandemic?
Wow. A lot of businesses took a hit.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think everyone took it.
yes, we all did. It wasn't quite an easy period, but that was like a very good beginning of this social media and online business trend. People started to realize that you can't just sell by sitting down. You have to make more effort online, and move to online classes. Like right now, we've not been able to work on our online classes because back during COVID, I was working at a place there from 8 to 4, and it was not quite easy for me to focus on new aspects of the business. But now that the crypto era is gone, I've taken time off. I can now decide that okay, I want to jump on the trends that have already existed. You understand? So it's not been easy keeping up with the new trends. But yes, right now I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of those that are doing well, and move to online classes and digital products and all of that. So it's been hard, but right now we're getting better.
Okay. Baking, everything. When do you have time to have fun? When do you go out? When do you socialize?
Business is my fun. Really, I love business.
I feel like you would say that. I had a feeling that's what you're gonna say.
I love the thrill that it gives you when you succeed, you feel good, and when you fail, you have a low period. But then that drive, you try to look for your joy and your reason and your passion. I think that I'm not somebody that goes out indoors. I like to be inside. The only thing that makes me push myself to go out to do things is this business drive. So it's done a lot for me too.
Alright. Okay, fine. Go out, you don't go out, you're gonna play a game here with me today. And it is called Would You Rather. So would you rather? Let's take it. Are you ready? Okay. Would you rather live in a place where it's always hot or always cold?
Cold.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I have to turn on the AC and you actually live in a place.
Put on a sweater or cover myself. But when it's hot, there's nothing.
There's nothing you can do, yeah. I feel like Would you rather be poor with lots of good friends or rich with no friends?
That's a hard question. That's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
I don't have so many friends right now. Maybe if you had said rich with few friends.
Oh, with few friends. Okay, fine. So you say rich with few friends.
Because if you're poor, I mean, like, are you going to be asking your friends for
Enough
money?
money.
It's both ways it's hard.
Yeah.
I think it's better to be rich with no friends.
Okay, fine. Alright, would you rather eat your favorite food every day or not eat it ever again?
No, it's
Never again.
Why every day? It wouldn't be my favorite
Food
food
anymore. Yeah, the other just is. Would you rather live a short life and be rich and have a long life and be poor?
This statement is about poverty. There's poverty and there's poverty.
I do know, but it is still poverty, so what will you do?
I don't know. A long life. It depends on what's in that life. Some people are not financially rich, but they're able to sustain themselves and they're able to make an impact. So I think that's a rich life.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you can't really just define life by poor rich. It's not.
That's deep, but yeah, I agree. Would you rather be most patronized speaker in Ibadan and be married to your husband? Or would you rather be married to your husband and be the least patronized speaker in Ibadan?
I can do other things. I'm more passionate about being an entrepreneur than even about baking than about doing any other thing. So wherever I am, I'm going to try.
Try.
Yes.
I like that. Wherever you are, you're going to try. I like that spirit. Would you rather be rich or experience true love?
Why is it about money? I already experienced true love.
Okay, fine. You already experienced true love. Okay, that's true. Would you rather know where you're going to die or have it happen suddenly? Oh my god.
Well, that's knowing is going to put some kind of pressure on you. I think the good thing about life is that we're not too sure
About what happens.
everything.
Yes.
So we hope for the best. Hope is important.
So you rather not know.
No.
Would you rather have a full battery or a lot of walk-in customers? Full phone battery or a lot of walk-in customers?
Customers, anything.
You don't care about your phone that much?
I press my phone more because of customers.
Customers are coming.
Chatting me up.
Okay, would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out at night?
Everybody needs to go out during the day.
Okay.
I don't need to go out
At
at night.
night?
Nobody is looking for me at night.
Okay, would you rather travel the world for free for a year or have 100 million naira to spend however you please?
I could make a fortune with 100 million and travel every once in a while.
With that, so you rather have 100 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have a cell phone for a month or brush your teeth for a month? Or not brush your teeth for a month? Your phone and not brush your teeth.
Can't not brush my teeth. I'm a dentist. I would feel so horrible.
Okay, so you rather brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, but you really do like your phone. Alright, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you
It
for
was
coming on
fun
the show.
show.
Yeah, it was fun having you here too. And yeah, while you're here, we have something for you. This is for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate kind gesture.
Thank you for coming to our show.